at any point, right?
To be fair, this is my guy. You're my guy. That's my guy. So I'm with all of you. I really agree with all of you. Every point y'all have made. How many rocket launch incidents have we had exactly?
I haven't heard about rocket launches yet. Now, I know we're jinxing ourselves.
Right,
literally, we gonna go outside.
We got to put it out there.
No, but my thing is
our cars.
No,
God damn it.
Problem. And the fact that they want to just have people walking around with fucking handguns without, just do you even have to show an ID for this law, Marco?
No, it's permitless.
God damn. Okay, so hey.
It's permitless, yeah.
I can roll up, get milk and a handgun.
There's still certain rules that I think will apply, like you can't walk into a bar with it and stuff like that.
But
That's not a lot because I can stand outside the bar.
but also
it
enables.
It enables.
Yeah.
And you think that bars are checking like that?
Yeah, do you think bars are going to have metal detectors
especially
and
in
have
Austin.
somebody pat people down?
Let me put it this way. If you're a non-Texan person, this is something that surprised me being an outsider. There are signs at bars or certain locations that says because we make, I think you make more than 20% of your income with alcohol or liquor, that we're not allowed to have handguns in the location. That sign's all over a lot of different places. I'd never seen it before. I'm used to it now, but I'd never seen it before in my life.
It sounds like you were as jarred as if you saw a colored only's entrance.
It was different because I just was like, okay, so the assumption is that everyone has a gun, and the assumption is you got to leave it in your car, put it, or not bring it, and not bring it.
Yeah.
Whereas California, it's like we can assume that certain areas have guns, certain areas have violence, but we don't assume that everyone has one. So seeing that, where it's like, oh, this is a policy that we have to put on, like the fucking Better Business Bureau food grade rating and shit like that, it was jarring to say the least, but something that they could still apply to this, even if they do have concealed carry, free, whatever.
Because a lot of people will be willing to throw out a lot of different sort of, hey, you can go get one. You can go do this, X, Y, and Z. Look, I promise you, in terms of finances, my legal background, my mental state, any sort of checks you want to put me through, I'll have no trouble getting a gun. If I want one tomorrow, if I want to go through that process, I'll go do it. I'll begin it, get it, be okay.
It's pretty easy.
Semicolon, however, comma.
Go to a gun show and try to buy a gun.
If I have a gun, you see this? Luckily, what was it? Senior Two Shoes?
Two Phones.
Two Phones, right? Senior Two Phones commented on it. Yes, all this big, black, jacked up sexiness
You
over
can't say
here.
all that. Damn, dude.
Hey,
You
man,
say
I took
all
it.
that.
It's in the subtext.
It's in the
Confident,
subtext.
let 'em go.
But all that.
Long, strong, about to get the friction on. You know all the things he was saying.
Jokes aside, all
Rick
that
James.
is not seen by everybody, right? You're gonna deem me as an African American, big black dude who has
With
a
a
gun
gun.
on him, who might be if I have it driving in my car,
Wearing
might
all
get
black.
me shot.
Who beats his girlfriend?
Who once again, apparently, if a cop shows up at my place, had my neighbor even called the cops on me, was like, hey, I think this person's beating his girlfriend.
I think.
Which is the thing that happened. If you guys were watching the shows consecutively,
No, I didn't beat my girl. That was not the thing that happened.
No. The person calling the
But
cops on,
a person called in thinking that he was beating his girlfriend because he was
Just
cussing at video games.
Because
she's white.
She was just cussing at video games.
She was cussing at video games.
And she's white.
And she's
That
white.
was
So
it, yeah.
And so I'm saying, like, I tell him, hey man, I'm chilling, I'm chillaxing with my girl, nothing happened. They want to say, oh cool, we want to do a check, we want to do something, we want to do a wellness, whatever. Find a gun in there, I'm dunzo chunzo, I'm another statistic. Yeah. And so what I'm saying,
permit or no permit.
And you might, and there's so many layers that go towards this. But ultimately, all that said, let's leave. I can even remove that from the equation. That still doesn't change the fundamental issue of, and I get what you're saying, Marco, where it's like, and I totally get what you're saying too, where it's like, mental health checks, there's a limitation. Like if someone really wants one, they gonna get one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But why isn't that process high? And that doesn't change the fact that the process should still be hell and high water to get access to it. Because anybody who's like you, who's like me, should still have no troubles. If it's a pain in the ass to do a hobby, boom.
It's a course sift. You get some of the bigger boulders out of there that shouldn't have been made in the first place. It's not saying it's a perfect system. It's just another layer, and bigger and it's a bigger one, and then you get finer and finer and finer until the people who should, and that's the thing defined by Second Amendment. Everyone gets one, but people that would be responsible more than likely.
That's what I'm saying.
All you're trying to do is make that responsible gun ownership number trend upward. Literally,
it's just about because with mental health and timeout. Yes, Key, I also fear for her safety too, man. She's not even here, and I'm scared for her. I don't know, but no,
get her a gun.
Get her 3 guns. Yeah. Why not?
But in the cases of like and I know that it's not all applicable, right? Like I'm the same way with Tommy. Marcos, if he says he has 15 guns, I don't bat an eye. But that's because I know, and I know his background. I know his experience. I know all those aspects about him.
Yeah.
I have to hope that he gets worried if I'm like, I got an AR-15, guys. Woo! Because I don't know what
I'm sure we'll get to. No one should have.
If you really care about your protection that much, then you'll go through those sorts of processes and checks and things of that nature.
Money, whatever you have.
Because and it has to be built in because it's a lot more unrealistic. But I'd even say if it gets to that point, it might have to be where we have to have metal detectors in half the places where people are walking in order to sort that shit out.
Yeah.
Now,
that was my whole thing. Like, you want to have concealed where anybody can have one, so you're going to have metal detectors at bars and shit, or are bouncers going to pat you down?
Like, literally, like all the other processes, if you want to make it be free as a bee, you're going to have to make every single fucking place.
H-E-B, McDonald's.
Everywhere you go, be a sort of access point to where it's like, cool, now this shit just gets delayed another 15 20 minutes. If I'm trying to go in the club, I see a hot girl, I'm like, hey girl, I'll be in there in 30. I gotta get pat down.
Right.
Do my drug test. Gotta do my dance revolution. Active like, I gotta do work.
I got metal on, so just be patient.
Hey, be patient, girl.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you still looking fine. My drunkenness from the pregame would be hung up by the time I get inside the
bar
club.
before.
Right.
So I'm like, because it's a hard struggle. There's no right answer.
Oh no, it's
but
great
I still think the process is so simple, easy, and in the scenario where you're saying, right, where it's impoverished and this is a hustle and survival sort of mentality. Number one, I got nothing but agreement towards what you're saying in terms of like fundamentally that's an issue,
right?
But there's poverty. But my problem is it's also on my. If you guys have ever listened to me saying on a podcast, I say America is one of the most immature countries.
Oh, absolutely.
Ever, right? Because there's poverty every fucking where.
Right. But then you add the culture that Texas has of everyone needs a gun, and all of a sudden everyone's their own sheriff, and everyone's right, and everyone's standing their ground, and everyone has the right to shoot everybody. And that was the point I wanted I wanted to counter though against him, who's saying if you live in a bad neighborhood and the cops don't come and save you, then you have to protect your own goddamn self. Fine, do it. Make a well-regulated militia, like the Constitution says. Well-regulated. Regulate the people. Regulate the guns. Fucking deputize people. Make your own. If the cops don't come to where you come, but don't just say you're on your fucking own, stranger. Everyone gets a gun, idiot or not, woman or man, child. Everyone gets one. That's not a solution. That's the Wild West. Wild West, you shoot someone for being a coward, then you scoot them off because the sheriff wasn't there. That's not a reality that we can live in anymore. That's not real, and that's not something that is civilized life.
Now,
it's not civilized life.
I'm just going to chime in and say that, unfortunately, I actually am a fan of the Wild West. And if I could be a sheriff...
live through that shit.
They didn't allow you guys in the saloon. Shut the fuck up.
If I can have spurs on my feet and be like, well, Sammy. Seems as though you've ended back into my office here.
They call me a bandito and tell me to go the fuck back to Mexico. Oh, wait, they do that already here. Everyone knows Texas is fucked up when you look in. We know that in a lot of different ways. Guns included. And the thing is that Texas dictates the conversation when it comes to guns a lot of the times. They're the ones where everyone says everyone's allowed to have a gun here in Texas. Everyone's safe here when they're not. It's a fake narrative that's super popular that everyone is safe. And you guys all believe it. You guys all believe you're safe, and you're not.
I don't believe I'm safe at all.
No, but if you have a gun, I still
don't feel safe.
Right.
I'd feel safer.
Well, you know how to use it.
Right, no, but that's the argument that Texas tends to make, which is if everyone has a gun, everyone is safer.
Dumbass argument.
Right, it is a dumbass argument, but that's where all of it comes from.
So then so here's my problem with that statement right there. We already identify that is an asinine statement. So don't throw us into a grouping or category where we agree with that statement just because we're born here. That's not cool.
Right, but I have the luxury of having friends that are college educated, smart dudes.
Of course.
Right.
That's us.
That's us.
Yes.
That's us. Right. And how many people don't think that way? A lot of the voting public here. A lot of people that aren't in
It's a
Austin.
lot of red.
A lot of the people that aren't in the major cities. And we don't go there because you get shot, you might pass, and I get shot.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
I can't go 20 minutes outside the city without seeing Trump stuff still. In any direction.
I'm talking about go to LaGrange.
Go
Right.
south. You'll be fine. San Marcos will be all right.
Right.
Yeah.
But but 3 out of 4 directions is not a good look, even for the most liberal city in Texas.
East, you'll be fine. That's
The
like,
fact that
you'll find a Buc-ee's.
the fact that I'm not allowed in certain areas is not good.
Yeah.
And me having
I don't
having
think
a
that's
gun,
the case
but me
anymore.
having a gun doesn't solve it.
Yeah,
Him having a gun
It totally
doesn't
is.
solve it.
Him
having
in some places.
Him having a gun doesn't solve it, because even if it was an equal playing ground, or maybe if it was an equal playing ground, it might be real. It might be something that we can actually agree on. It might be policy that might be successful. But because the darkness of our skins and the attitudes of the police and the attitudes of the general population, that utopia is never going to exist in that same way that California creates a soft target by wishing guns away and making no gun zones. I get that. I get that people see it and like, that's dumb. Because I grew up, no guns allowed, 100 feet in front of every school I went to. And there were still lockdowns every other, maybe about twice a year. There'd be a lockdown, maybe once a year. Some kid.
Yeah, twice a year. One was a test. The other one was real.
One was a test, one was real. Yeah. No, there was one guy that was right down the way. He had a Tech 9, was shooting boom, 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 like fucking crazy. But because it doesn't work for everybody, then there's no uniform argument for gun control because it doesn't work for everybody the same way. There's so many sub-genres and sub-problems that happen culturally, racially, all that stuff, that gun owners aren't a monolith. And when we think of gun owners, we're thinking of white gun owners. Let's be real here.
With guns for one reason and one
guns for
reason
one reason
only.
only.
But this is a podcast that skews towards minorities.
Right. And so
we are all minorities here.
Right. And so
And I am very big on saying that every minority should probably have a gun.
And then it actually get critically looked at.
have what get critical.
Shit, if a mass majority of minorities were to actually not be on if the educated or more passive ones were like, who are like me and Tommy, who are like, yeah, we get guns, but we're kind of neutral. Or if more individuals who are very anti-gun, like in my family, who's like, yo, or my mom's side of the family, who's like, there's no need, religion, like a lot of just, hey, like faith, things of that nature. But if a lot of minorities were to step up and get these sort of weaponry, if there was a mass number, an increase, there'd be a
some nice
lot more
stats that would
changes.
come out. Yeah, right.
See, no, and I would think the more that we get them, the more we get fucking picked off like flies because they have a reason to kill us.
Yo, oh no, and see,
Because if I have a
honestly,
gun, let me finish the
go.
point. If I have a gun with my Mexa, Muslim, Philip, whatever face this is,
real
Indian,
ambiguous. Yeah. Yeah.
They don't care if I have a license. They don't care that I have a degree. They don't care that I pay my taxes. They don't fucking care. They being racist, crazy people,
Neighbors.
outstanding citizens,
upstanding
citizens, fucking black folk, Asian folk that might be mad or something. Jewish guys, Muslim guys, they might be like, fuck that guy.
And you'll be
He's a target.
you will be a fucking footnote in an article.
Right.
Crap.
Or worse,
Big Mexican guy had a
worse,
gun.
they don't look like they're little cholito guys. Just can't grow in his beard. Just looks like a cholo. Because culturally, that's just what the look is.
Can't whip
Doesn't
for him.
gangbang, doesn't tag. But he just looks like him to fit in, to survive his bad neighborhood. And he gets mowed down because he had a gun or whatever, or didn't have a gun. It doesn't matter. We're sitting ducks, and you'd have to convince everyone to get it all at once. And all that would do is scare the people in charge to be like, oh, that's why we should have more guns. They're not going to start regulating it. Yeah, I get the Black Panthers. They did it. The NRA tried to regulate it at that time.
I don't believe that they will be like,
I think
yes, woo. No, they will definitely regulate, Sammy.
but in a way that's only for us.
Hell,
in a way that'd only be for black or Mexican.
Hey, let's just be fucking. They want to stop us from fucking voting. You don't think if that shit became, they did the handgun shit here in Texas, oh, that don't apply to us.
Right.
At the fuck all.
They would say,
no, I agree.
Here's the plus, though. Here's the thing. You're right and you're right. If we did that shit, yeah, the statistics of, all these minorities who own guns, the violence within them, very low. Just minute. Doesn't fucking matter because it does. If you was it Philando
Castile, I think.
Philando Castile, yeah,
or Ahmad, I forget.
No, it's
Philando. Yeah, registered gun owner. Didn't fucking matter.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's what it is. A part of me thinks that this whole law is just for that. Okay, a bunch of them gonna get guns, so we can put them down even easier. That's what the fuck I think. In Texas, that's what I think that law is for. That's why I think the law is bullshit. It's because of that. God damn, they used fucking Jim Crow terms in the voting law they just passed in this bitch. That was the purity of the vote, which was something. That
wasn't Texas, that was Georgia.
It don't matter.
No, it was Texas.
But it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It don't matter. It's next door.
That's what we are now with this group. This is what they want. So yeah, a bunch of black people get guns. Yeah, we can put them down. He had a gun. People will move the fuck on and not give a shit.
And lastly, to that point, just I want a little tag. Do you think the cops would be able to switch their mentality from seeing a concealed gun and not shooting or not responding as if it were a gun that shouldn't be there? Whatever they deem shouldn't be
They
there.
put out a statement that says they don't want this law.
Let's not get the cops in here, man. That's a different topic.
But
they factor into this shit,
but that's part. No, but realistically,
that's not fair.
that part. No, but that's part of their job.
No, 100%.
Their part of their job is to neutralize, hopefully, active threats, right? And like you guys say, if they come up to a place and they have to assess a threat, they're gonna shoot whoever has a gun. And
no, Sam, they're gonna shoot regardless.
Right.
If they find a gun, it's over. Okay, cool. He had a gun. We'll move on. That's
so just let me finish the sentence. So we're now putting them in a bad spot. Not like I'm an advocate for cops all the time, but we're putting them in a bad spot. Now they have to make a decision about who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, and bias. Human bias
it's already a problem.
Tells us that they're going to shoot darker just on bias, or if they're good, then they shoot the right person, and fate.
Counterstatement.
Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Kenneth Walker. Do you know
Makes a great whiskey.
No, that's John. Do you know who Kenneth Walker is?
No, explain.
You'll know the name that he's connected to. Breonna Taylor.
Okay.
Shot at the police. And as far as it is concerned, he's A, still alive today. B, shot at the police because someone was breaking into his house. And the only people that defended him was the gun lobby. So it's not down to race.
His girlfriend got shot the fuck up.
Yes, but this isn't about her. This is about...
But no. That's a part of it. Him shooting back at them. I mean, like they needed a reason any fucking way. They probably would have done the same. But still, you realize he got in trouble for that and just got off of that shit.
Yes, he barely got off, but he got off on gun lobby dollars. They did help back him up.
That is true.
He is a person of color, obviously, and he did exactly everything that Sam was saying, and he's still alive.
But his girlfriend isn't.
His girlfriend isn't, and that is a tragedy. But the point is the person with the handgun is still alive.
No, so okay. So pause before you get crunk. All right. So Marco, I get your logic, but inherently the impetus of that was the girlfriend getting shot at. No matter where you frame that at, no matter what court you're going to, they're going to leverage that the person that he was trying to protect got shot up. The fact that even has to be in the lair is it contributed in some way, shape, or form to how he was able to barely get off.
Barely.
So, like, I get that impetus. Like, he's cool for the person owning the gun. Like, that's fine. But this is a different conversation if she was still alive and she's Gucci. Because then it'd be like, cool, she's alive, she's good, and he got off?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a real law right there.
They didn't have a warrant, right, either?
They
It was the wrong
had a
house.
knockless
Wrong
warrant.
house.
It's the wrong house. Yeah.
But it was wrong house.
No. It was the right house because they.
But
Well,
it was
I thought-
some old bullshit that probably didn't need that level of antagonism.
No, but goes back to probably something we should have talked about in the police episode, that police raids are dumb, and I'm against knockless raids.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that being said, yes, it is. We're still in a case right now in 2021, where we're barely getting off. But we are hopefully seeing the tipping point. Between this and Derek Chauvin, it's like history's gears are turning a little bit. It's up to us, which is why we do this podcast, to keep them turning.
Right.
This is us catching the check of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness.
But there's
And that includes the Second
But
Amendment.
there's a lot of money that doesn't want those gears to turn.
And
Shitload of money. Doesn't want
this
those gears.
podcast is on a low budget and or no
They
budget.
will-
So if you'd like to sponsor them, Excellence, you can always donate. You can donate down
okay,
below.
yeah,
You
don't
can
listen to him. But
I'm just saying. I'm just realistically though, as Tommy mentioned, there's people legitimately wanting to take all of that away.
Yeah.
So and they already have
Powerful
guns.
people.
And they already have guns. And they already have the rules in place where if I were to have one, they could shoot me.
It's the system that's already in place,
Right.
man. And it's just like, I have to put an emphasis on right the fuck now. I wanted to do a topic of the GOP, the state of the GOP right now, because they're doing wild, crazy 1930s type shit, boldly, not giving a fuck in the name of Trump, all that bullshit. And race is a big part of it. I read an article, did the research on the article, make sure it was verified. So Democrats wanted to be a big emphasis for police departments to do background checks to make sure that the people that are applying are not white supremacists. Guess who's pushing back on that shit? Wild guess, Republicans. That kind of shit. It's so obvious and so brazen now. Like I said, with this gun law, to me, some people might see it like, oh, it's going to be the Wild West. More gun freedom. I'm seeing, no, this to me, personally, it's for one goddamn reason. Let's just skim the herd. Let's slim them down. This is an easy way to fucking do it. Let's do it that way. That way, when a policeman shoots a motherfucker for no logical reason, shoots a TJ or a Tommy, motherfuckers who aren't troublesome in any way, oh, they had a gun.
Yep.
End of story.
and I also
Yeah, what's your limit? What would be the ultimate either magazine capacity
I am
or
curious,
type of brand or whatever? And visual. Give me some visual representation because I wouldn't know what the fuck you meant if you started naming off numbers and letters.
submarines.
Like the sandwich?
No, the limit is submarines. Like everything before submarines
I would
is
like
probably
to
cool.
own a submarine, Marco.
Wait, so you're
That is
saying
on my
rocket
bucket
launcher's
list.
cool?
If you know how expensive a rocket launcher would
It
be,
doesn't matter.
But you're saying
Whoa,
rocket
Marco.
launcher is cool.
look, I have a very libertarian mindset.
That's
towards
not
it.
recreational.
It
even in the
is
most
legitimately
fun way.
recreational.
Yeah, I
It
know
can
there was a
be.
place in, I want to say it was India or no, not India.
It's Vegas. You can rent one in Vegas.
No, there's one. It might have been in Africa because it was
we don't
$500.
do that there.
It was $500. You get a rocket launcher and you get to shoot a cow. If you miss the cow, you get $200 back.
What do you do if you
I
hit
wanna
the cow?
shoot
Do
the
you?
cow.
Then that's $500. That's your
fucked
you pay
up.
$500.
I thought it was a better idea in Vegas where you shoot old Nazi
Cars.
tanks and
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
it was a place in Texas where you could drive tanks and blow shit up.
I would just say that, and I'm only defending this because I haven't seen it yet. If rocket launchers are actually available within the current law
Just
set,
because you
Moving
can
the fuck out.
no,
rocket launcher.
I'm saying that I haven't heard any issues with them yet. So obviously, it must be a bitch and a half to get.
So
Oh, it's very difficult
So
to
here's a
get
really dark thing that
Go for it.
audience. So you can own anything older than 80 years as an antique,
Right.
including Gatling guns,
Grenades, too, also.
including
Yeah, I
grenades,
thought so.
including rockets. So it's
Dust it off and
No, but
yeah.
having the right to own it is different than doing something about it. You could change that rule so you don't have an 80-year-old grenade that could just go off at any point,
to
right?
be fair, this was my guy. You're my guy. That's my guy. So I'm with all of you. I really agree with all of you. Every point y'all have made. How many rocket launch incidents have we had exactly? here.
That's a real talk. That's why I was like, I haven't heard about rocket launchers yet. Now, I know we're jinxing ourselves.
so
Literally,
if
we gonna go outside.
We got to put it out there.
No, but my thing is,
our cars.
no, but if that's the
My
case,
Nissan.
but if that's the case, what is the situation where it's like, yeah, man, step up, motherfucker. Yeah, you step up, motherfucker. Yeah, what you gonna do about this? What are you gonna do about this?
That will end some shit quickly.
That is the nuclear option.
That is
for lack of a better term.
That is
Hey, I
legitimately-
feel like there'd be a.
You can't hide that. You don't pick a fight with the dude that has a rocket launcher for
You
one.
got it, man. I'm out.
I feel like at the point he's pulled out the rocket launcher, like he's
When did he pull it out?
There's a scene that's specifically this in Malibu's Most Wanted, where I want to say it's Kumar. What's his?
I mean, it's also in
Cal Penn pulls out a rocket launcher.
I mean, it's also seen in what is it? Don't Be a Menace.
Don't Be a Menace also had a scene that way.
Yeah.
And in both those scenes, it ended the exact same way with the person driving the fuck off.
Right.
Because that would actually happen.
All right.
So here's where I'll get.
That is a great point for you. Point mark.
Point Marcos. You know what? Rocket launchers successfully argued for on the Mexcellence podcast. Mexcellence fully endorses rocket launchers.
I mean,
I wouldn't go that far, but go ahead, Mark.
I'll get real in the sense that TJ was like, be a little bit more negative or a little bit more realistic. And so I was challenged by that. So here's the only... Because I think that you can legally own anything up to that as well. Because you're going to be priced out. Even at this point in time, I don't know how the kid from El Paso bought an AR. Like, they're super expensive.
But you also grew up poor, bro. Like me, in one point in my life. So our accessibility, we have a cap.
mentally.
Look, let's put it this way. Mentally, insider baseball. We sell insurance.
Yeah.
How many times have you looked at a price that somebody could afford that we couldn't?
Well, that is actually the answer.
Right.
Is insurance. I believe that if you own a gun, you should have a liability policy for it.